Hey, what up? What up? Here's Alex, Fantasy Football Hustler, back at you.
Word the most high, we the most lit. Bogard sky free in this thing.
Hell yeah. All right, we got a super dope breakdown today. We're breaking down Savages. And oh man, this is a dope ass movie from 2012. It was actually based on a book. So we did a movie recently, Ready Player One, that was based off a book. Oliver Stone is the one who takes this one on. Yep. And they said, just like in Ready Player One, of course, the book is going to be a lot more detailed. And they said they go into a lot more detail on like the main guys in the book.
But Ben and John.
Ben and John Chon. I mean, this is like, I'm assuming Cheech and Chong, right? Like
the names were changed to protect the innocent. It sounds like, what should we call him? Ben and John.
Because his name's John, but he goes by Chon.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that had to be some kind of Cheech and Chong. Like, that's all that I'm assuming. These are all fictional characters.
Yeah. They got the weed growing thing. And I can see that.
What up, Tina?
And then there's Ophelia. Right?
What up, Marty? Oh,
she got feel in her name. Yeah.
And she didn't like the real Ophelia, just her whole story. So she had to shorten it to O. Yeah. And Oliver Stone, though, like, man, I mean, he's really never stopped like making movies. He's had some good ones. And like, how do you think this compares? I mean, Scarface, some of his best work, obviously. I mean, we can go down a big list of all the things that he's done.
So Oliver Stone, I know who didn't he work with another person on Scarface? Was it Brian DiCaprio? No, not DiCaprio. Brian.
I mean, I know he's worked with a bunch of people. I'm trying to remember different times. I mean, Oliver Stone's Any Given Sunday, right? There's another movie, Natural Born Killers. Yeah. I mean, if you go back, JFK and Wall Street.
Yeah, he did a couple joints with Leo.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely up there, though. I mean, one of the things that just, watching some info just on the backstory and stuff, everyone was saying how, like, Oliver Stone, he's all about getting, like, the experts in or the consultants, the people we can rely on.
They probably had real Navy SEALs on deck for this one, I'm sure.
Yeah, so they did have a military consultant. It was someone who, did multiple tours and stuff and was showing everyone what was up. They had a hacker consultant, and like it's crazy because the hacker consultant, pretty much when the dude is at the computer, typing away and shit, he's like literally right next to him with the real computer that's like controlling all the screens. It's like as he's typing shit, the dude is doing shit to make shit pop up, like as well.
Dang, next time I'm gonna pay attention to that dude typing and be like, he ain't even typing nothing, bro.
Well, he's typing, it's just it may be a little bit off. He hits the button when something actually pops up, maybe like a little delay. They had a DEA consultant as well. So someone who's an ex-DEA agent was consulting on a lot of things. And then of course you had to have, some kind of weed consultant because the grow rooms and everything. I mean, what'd you think of the grow rooms when you were looking at them?
I mean, reminds me of that era.
Yeah.
Because, what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, like, the technological advances of the grow rooms these days, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
But at least, how about more intricate? How about that?
Yeah, it reminds me of them times.
The one thing that I liked about it, I don't know if you caught it, but real trippy where when they're showing, like, one of their grow rooms where it's, like, inside a house and, like, but it's, like, they have like the spiral staircases kind of just like in the middle of the house where obviously that wouldn't be good for like the actual plant in like real life, but just cool how it was like intermixed within everything. And I don't know if you even saw it was like an indoor swimming pool that was in there, but just all the everything in it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's real Cheech and Chong-esque.
Yeah. For sure.
From Cheech and Chong Still Smoking, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Or no, maybe that was that Nice Dreams?
Cheech and Chong's Nice Dreams. There you go.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah,
right. Still Smoking was the third song, right?
The fourth. Nice Dreams was number 3.
Wow. Which one?
Nice Dreams was number 3. Next movie was number 2.
Yeah, okay. Next movie's my favorite. Which one was the first? The first one's the one he picks him up, right? And he picks him up off the side of the road and like, and then they smoke the dog shit joint, and then the last one That's also the one where like they got the grow house underneath underneath the pool, right?
No, that's number 3. That's nice.
Oh, okay. So it's okay. So this I'm confusing the one where he's like, hey, we got some big sticks.
Yeah.
Got an ice cream truck.
Yeah, that's number 3.
You guys got some big sticks? Oh yeah, we got some big sticks.
Yeah, that's number 3.
He does that shit. I had a homie Rudy that used to do that. You know, he do the chong.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Or not the chong, the cheech, I should say. That's the cheech move right there.
Oh man, so Savages 2012 release. So the book came out, I believe, in 2009 or 2010. So this is one of those ones that, like, just like Ready Player One. I mean, they start making the movie pretty much like right after, you know, the book.
Yeah, I mean, when in Ready Player One, like a lot of books in the past 20 years, when you sign on your book deal, you're also usually selling the movie rights already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this might have been one of them ones. You know what I mean?
I mean, probably really close. I don't know if the book came out before they sold the rights to it, but
well, I'm saying like if
it would probably have. They probably had to have sold the rights to the movie before the book came out. Just seemed like the timeline would be cutting it too close.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, like a lot of times they'll land those deals simultaneously. You know what I mean? Like, well, maybe I'm just comparing it to Ready Player One because I know that when the dude,
I forget the author's name of the book, so apologize. But yeah, they said that he's written a couple books already that got turned into movies, so he had a reputation of a guy for, you know, who'd write a book that could be adapted into a movie very easily. Yeah, and so 2012, this movie came out. I mean, the main 3 people, that's John and Ophelia and Ben. So Taylor Kitsch, I don't even know how to pronounce it. He was in Friday Night Lights. Blake Lively, I don't even remember her from anything else. And the same thing with Aaron Taylor Johnson. Like the main 3 people, we don't really know them, or at least I don't. But then we got Benicio del Toro, John Travolta, Salma Hayek, you know, so we do have, at least of the top 6 characters, I mean, 3 of them real big household names.
Yeah, I was about to say that's such a Oliver Stone thing too, to like have some notable names and then like, you know what I mean? But like some of his main characters are like up and comers and shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how the movie starts off, at least like the first couple seconds. If you turn away, like you might miss it. It's so quick, but like you don't even know what the hell's going on. You're just seeing some crazy ass, like, I don't know, it looks like a basement or a dungeon or some shit. Then you see people's heads cut off, and it's like there's hostages and masked men. And I mean, if you don't know anything about this movie, I mean, you know, that scene, it just leads up for a lot of shit.
Yeah, you're intrigued out the gates, I'm sure, or mortified, which mortified usually tends to keep me glued.
Yeah,
and then wow, this is crazy.
And then it's like just right from there, you know, like it cuts away to a way more peaceful, like style of scene. Like after that, it's like the water, and then we start getting a narration by Ophelia, and just way different. I mean, we have no idea like how these 2 worlds are about to collide necessarily. And she kind of just is explaining, I mean, these characters now. So we know that she's just some rich girl.
Yep.
And she knows Ben and Chon, who are from Laguna.
Yep. I mean, who isn't rich from Laguna? I was about to say, like, my girl, she's watched this movie with me before.
Okay.
And I go, you know, this was in Laguna? And she's like, word. Because she used to watch Laguna Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I just think that shit was bullshit.
Yeah, I never messed with it. I know Vanessa. Yeah,
I'll punch one of those kids in the throat. The motherfuckers is rich as fuck.
Yep, and that's all they're showing. You know, the nice little beach community of Laguna and the city and everything. Everything looks real nice. You get the backstory on John that he's done 2 tours, one in Iraq, one in Afghanistan, and you know he's not all there in the head. He's trying to get rid of that war. And Ben, more of a Buddhist type of guy, very like war violent guy, and went to Berkeley for what, botany and something else. Can't even remember.
Yep, but, which is basically Oaksterdam in a nutshell,
for sure.
Yeah, that's where, you know, they actually have an official Oaksterdam.
Yeah,
in Berkeley. Yeah.
Oh, okay. At Berkeley now. Okay.
Yeah, in Berkeley. Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, actually, for sure in the last 10 years, because my man, shout out to my man's G. You know what I'm saying? He went there and learned he learned all kind of like a gang of shit, bro.
Tight.
Like, yeah, like even the book was like $600, like just the book for the class. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And he's like, man, this book is so worth it, bro. It's all about instruction. You know, they teach you hella shit, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Like it.
All kind of shit. It's crazy.
Hell yeah. And so you cut to Ben and John like smoking a little bit, and it's like, hey, where do you think the best weed is grown? Afghanistan. I mean, at least the seeds, anyways, because that's what they go get.
The Afghan gooey.
Yep.
The Afghan.
Yeah. And all his botany training, all his teachings and learnings. Oh man, turned it into growing the best weed around. That shit. I mean, 2012, 33% was like off the charts.
Yeah, and like yeah, I want to say the first time I ever heard of some Afghani was like 2005. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I wonder if there is some origin stories to how the Afghani Kush got over here. Maybe it is some of the seeds were brought back from the war. You never know, right? I mean, I had a homie that went to the war. One of his stories is that when they were raiding a building, and when they were kicking like all the doors in and shit, and just like he just saw a brick of hash, he just put it underneath his little plate.
Yeah.
Plate.
Hell yeah.
And he was like, fuck yeah, you know what I mean?
Come on.
That shit came in handy for like, you know, on those long nights.
I believe it.
Yeah. You know, this is like 2004. So he was in the thick of it. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, that's crazy. Yeah. I said, what would have happened if you get caught with that? He was like, man, shit.
Yeah.
He's like, I never got caught.
Probably better if you don't think about that kind of shit.
I mean, shit, you high as fuck.
Yeah. And so, yeah, they grow the best weed in pretty much the world is what they're making it seem like. Because, yeah, 33%. Like, who knows if there was even, I mean, testing was still not necessarily new, but I mean, it's not like it's happening for every strain of tree that's like out there. So, yeah, 33%. That's just off the charts.
And if the book was written in 2009, or if it was released in 2009, I'm sure like the book was written a couple years prior to that. They've been working on the book. Because like I said, the first time I ever encountered some Afghani was like 2005. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. We used to go to the clubs, and that was one of the premier strains. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they're breaking it down in the beginning, I mean, you know, they're breaking down how they do a lot of business with the dispensaries and all over California. And one of the guys who was like their weed consultant, they had him like in the dispensary. I don't know if you remember in the beginning, he's bringing the weed into the dispensary. That was the weed guy who put him up on game and did all the research for all this.
Cool. So, okay. So he was playing himself basically.
I mean, pretty much.
Oh, he was playing a character, but yeah, he was
yeah.
Good
and then see even back. I mean, obviously the independent rackets, you know, I mean, nothing's 100% legal in California in 2012. I mean, not the way that they were doing it anyway.
Well, the movie came out in 2012, so
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it could have been still, because like 2010 we saw a lot of changes.
That's
2011, but it wasn't really like straight recreational until what, 2016.
And I mean, like I don't even know when you could like legally get your grow license. So that might have been 2017 when it started or whatever.
You could be like, by the time it was 2016, you just had to be of age, right, to get into a dispensary. Before that, you had to buy
21 and up. But even then, like, I mean, there was still no legal dispensaries. I mean, at least recreationally legal dispensaries until 2018 in California.
That makes sense because it was passed in like 2016. So
yeah, and then they show, and they said, but the real money is when they were shipping it out of state, and then they show them loading up a car with like 50 packs or whatever. Yeah. And what do you think about that? They said they were getting about 6,000 a pound shipping it out of state. Is that accurate for the times?
I mean, for that quality, I would assume. I mean, you know, we used to get 4 bands out of state, depending on the strain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, like, you know,
it was like the straight, the rope Girl Scout. I mean, that stuff's not going to go out.
The Girl Scouts used to go for like 35. You know what I mean? And if I'm
talking about if it was to make it out to somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, because like they would be getting like, you know, 10 to 20 at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
35 a piece.
Tino said 60 a pack. No way. Well, and I think it's the allure of their weed.
Is Hollywood.
Their weed is so much better than everyone else's. That's why they're even able to get that price. That's what I'm thinking, anyways.
I mean, even if you were to do, you know, you'd have to do like 500 to zip or what, you know, what's that breakdown?
What?
Well, I mean,
no, Tino, we're talking about out of state though. That's what we're talking about.
yeah, we're talking about
Because he said 4G pack high times winner. That's in California. That's not in other places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hell yeah, fucking what's it called? It like the jug on the cookies back in 2010, 11 or 2011, 12 was like 3 bands if I'm getting like 10 of them. You know what I mean? Because I have to get in the what my man's is in the way with his little $2 tax on it, right? So we're getting it for like 28.
And
then,
see,
like,
that's you guys being in the
because then he's getting it from the guy who we have to go through his $3 tax. So there's already an extra 500 on top of it.
That's you guys being in the vicinity because it was nowhere near that in San Diego.
Yeah, that is definitely true. I mean, you know what I mean?
Vicinity of where it's being
Yeah,
great.
and but like I said, like, you know, I remember sending out like 25, you know what I mean, at 35 a piece. That was fucking winning, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man Dino. This guy was like the most reckless person to work with, but we used to make it happen, bro. Dino is a fool, bro. And then he would go to fucking Tino and Steven's house and lose all his like we used to make like a smooth, like, you know, 15 to 2,000 a day, bro. Like for a long period of time, like 4 days a week, working with this cat, and like he would just fuck all his money off. It was just crazy, bro. Like I never understood that.
Easy come, easy go. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
So back to Savages now. So they're showing. I mean, we get more of the. We start to get a little bit of the. I mean, we have no idea what's up with these 3 people, but in the beginning, you know, she's having sex with Chon.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to fuck the war out. He has wargasms, she has orgasms, and then, you know, when then Ben comes back and Chon's like, I'm gonna take a long walk on the beach.
Yeah, go ahead. You can. I warmed her up for you.
And then they get down to biz, you know, and she says in there. She was like, I know what you're thinking, slut. And she was like, maybe, but she was like, to me, they're one complete person.
That's some rich entitled shit.
I mean, they're all from
I don't quite like both of them individually, but put them together. I'm actually working on getting both of them to fuck me at the same time.
Now we know
you don't have to go on that walk.
We know that there's people who live this polyamorous, you know, style of lifestyle or whatever. I mean, it's crazy because like they're almost, you know, like she's the straw that stirs the drink, but it's like it's like their friendship is probably even why that could happen.
Their friendship is the drink. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, there you go. Because you even see it, I mean, even after he comes out, like after, you know, taking the bath or whatever, and he was like, how's the water? He's like, oh, no sharks out there. Can't say the same for in there, though. Like, I mean, I'm sure that this isn't like a brand newish thing for them. Who knows how long they've been into it, but
I don't know. It's probably one of those things. He used to be with her before the war. She comes back. I mean, he comes back from the war. She's fucking him the whole time he's gone. You know, it's one of those things. Like, hey, bro, thanks for keeping it warm for me while I was gone.
See, I don't even think that was it. The way they make it seem, or at least
I'm just throwing my own interpretation. You know what I mean? Because like they don't really like they
it's in the
a little bit.
It's in the beginning. It's like 2 seconds, like really quick. Because they met. She met Ben when she was working in the grow house, is what they said.
Oh, okay.
But this is after they'd already start their endeavors. Mm-hmm. So he's already back from war. He's already done his tours at that point when they started this.
Yeah, he probably doesn't give a fuck about a bitch, to be honest.
I mean, you know,
that
kind of lifestyle, right?
I mean, think about it, bro. It's probably bigger in his mind. He probably got bigger fish to fry. You know what I mean? Because, like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, just from the shit that he went through.
That's for sure.
Yeah, hella like think about that. It's like, yeah, you got some good fish, you know what I mean? Right? He might think, yeah, Ophelia, you know what I mean? That's cool. I get my orgasm on, you get your orgasm on, and then shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Because like, think about this. Like, I don't think how the fuck would he identify with her outside of the fact that like they're in these endeavors together right now. You know what I mean? She's
right.
a girl from Laguna.
And really, it's like the entire time. I mean, Chon specifically. I mean, you never see him smile or anything. Like, no. I mean, he's. I mean, shout out to our veterans. You know, he's one of those guys who, I mean, who knows how many people he's killed, you know, at this point, like doing 2 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan during, you know, some of the craziest shit, you know, that's happened this side of the 2000s.
He came back from the war. He was like, you know what stands true? He's like, the human condition is in its worst. It's in its worst condition. But what stands true is I need to get this goddamn money. You know what I mean? He's like, I can get us the best seeds, bro. You can grow the shit out of it. We'll get Ophelia to fucking fellatiate us while we go through the whole process. Let's go, bro. You with me?
And he's just like head of everything, security and muscle. Like he's just ready for it. He's ready for some shit to go down.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. This motherfucker, especially he wants some shit to go down, bro.
He's with the shit.
He's like, listen, bro, I'm not even tripping. No smiles, bro.
And so after we get the intro to them, then we get the intro to the other side of things, to the cartel side. We have no idea who this dude is in here, like cutting up some fish and sushi, whatever the hell he's doing. Ends up being a lawyer for a lawyer who took a dive, and then they find out it's because he was working for the other cartel, and it's Benicio del Toro who's the muscle, and comes in, pretty much wastes this guy. And I mean, it's pretty you know, the whole thing's pretty calculated, a lot of psychology going on here, and he really fucks with them all the way out. Like, I mean, it's definitely torture, mental torture on the way out.
Yeah.
Totally fucking with him.
It was time to die. Time to pay the piper, you backstabbing rata.
And how about that? You took 15 years of his life. He told me to shoot you in one of your kneecaps. That's 10 years. Shoot you in the other kneecap. 20 years off of your life right there.
Mm-hmm. We're not quite even. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so they handle biz, and it's crazy how they roll up every time. It's always in the what's it called, the
whips that they be mashing in,
the car with the landscaping. They're always the landscaping crew is what rolls up, and they start playing the leaf blowers and shit and making all that noise.
Make a hella noise,
and that's the cleanup crew.
Yeah, there's like a famous hood called Seven Trees. It's like where the east side like meets the south side. Mm-hmm. And I lived in that neighborhood for a while. Mm-hmm. And it was crazy because that I would hear stories about fools like houses getting shot up during Chinese New Year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because you could just
that's gonna be shot and
then shoot them, you know what I mean?
Because there's all these fires going off anyways during the fireworks and shit,
it's a fucking war zone outside for real. Yeah. Like Chinese New Year is awesome like that. You know what I mean? Like it's going down. A lot of people's gambling, all kind of shit's blowing up, and then you could just go shoot somebody, join up. You know what I mean?
Shit's wild.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I know in places like Hayward, and I'm pretty sure in some places in Oakland, like they got those fucking, I don't know if they still have this technology, but I know that in the early 2000s, they used to have the things where it's the lines that are hanging. Mm-hmm. So it's like it'll pick up the frequency of a gunshot.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that. I'm pretty sure they don't have lines anymore. I'm pretty sure there's just little thing like sensors or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I wonder if that's even true, because that was just something they used to say in the hood. Like, you know, they got these things, bro, where you shoot the gun and it'll be able to pinpoint where the shots came from, like at least the general area. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just wild.
Yeah, I'm like, what happens in Chinese New Year then? You know what I mean? Like, unless like there's
going off everywhere.
Yeah, but unless there's a specific like level of decibel.
Okay.
Decibel. Yeah.
But man, the fireworks would have to have a similar thing, right? Is that gunpowder being shot off?
Yeah. I mean, but like I said, unless there's a specific decibel that it has to hit. I'm confusing the two. Yeah, because then man, we used to like the fucking M80s, which is basically a quarter stick of dynamite in the shape of a ball, right? Yeah, those are just baby grenades right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Baby bombs right there.
And I forgot one little piece that I skipped over before we got to Lado, that's Benicio del Toro, is the same little setup thing that we saw in the first 10 seconds. They sent a little clip to Chon, and he's looking at it, and Ophelia is like, "Where's that? Afghanistan?"
Oh,
he's like, "No,
yeah.
Mexico."
Yeah, that's right, because they're demanding the meeting, right?
Yeah, and then they said like they knew that Ben was coming back, and they like literally as soon as Ben comes back, it's like a message pops up on his computer. Welcome home, Ben. We'll see you tomorrow. Come at 2:00 or whatever the hell, whatever time it said.
Oh, that's right. Because okay, so hold on. I'm fucking up the timeline in my head. So what happens? This is before they go to like wherever for a year, remember? Or is this him coming back from the war?
No. So this is Ben
for a year, right? Him and Ben, they went to wherever the fuck they dipped out.
No.
Oh, we're not there yet. Okay, my bad.
No. This is Ben coming back from like Africa or like something. He was there for like 2 or 3 weeks, and he's building some kind of like water well or like something in some village or something of that nature. Because he's on that type of kick, like
He'd been around the world, see how bad it is. Now he wanted like Plus that was a real that was cool to throw in a movie at that point, because also Oliver Stone, I know he did Blood Diamond as well.
Okay,
so he's in South Africa, and I'm pretty sure he's very aware of. And plus, like guys like Akon and all that shit, and it was a real popular thing to do during that time, like go and build wells in villages.
Yeah, and like trying to learn about
it to the next level. He's a whole infrastructure. Out there.
Not him, but it's like, I mean, well, and actually he even says a little bit in there, but the sustainable energy and
Oh, word. Okay, I missed that part.
Yeah, I mean, because it's thrown in like real quickly.
Yeah. And that definitely was going on in the early 2010s, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people kind of go green and really get rid of pollution and just everything amongst that. And but so now they got to go. So right after Lado, okay. What do you think about the whole dynamic with John Travolta and the dirty DEA agent? Like, really, it's crazy. In the end, he calls them informants, and they kind of are to a certain extent, right? It's like they both trade intel with each other. They pay him for intel, but I know that he uses them for intel as well.
And that's the difference between being a underworld factor, right? Mm-hmm. And then, working with them peoples. You're a rat, but like if you are them peoples and you're working with the cartel, right?
Yeah,
that doesn't make the cartels ratas. They just got a guy in pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's on savages. He's on the payroll, right? Like,
okay. Let's start something while we go through the duration of this.
Yeah,
he's a savage.
Yeah.
We're gonna start labeling things that are savage. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's definitely savage right there.
One interview that I saw with Oliver Stone, they asked him like at the end, they were like, "Okay, so I got to ask you, who's the savages?" And he was like, "Well, aren't we all to some extent?"
Exactly. Here's the thing. Okay, if I was to go to the middle of the jungle and I see the homies, bruh. He got the loincloth, you know what I'm saying? He's indigenous. This motherfucker live in the jungle. He'd be like, "Oh, hold on, bro. Gotta take a shit." Just starts going right there. And hand me that leaf right there. Just yank me one of them off the tree for me, bro. I'm like, man, he's a savage, right? You know what I'm saying? But listen, that's just normality to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what cartels do, just chilling, hella severed heads around and shit. That's just fucking normal to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is funny because savage, like this, it's so subjective, right? But yes, definitely, we're gonna label that savage.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going back to your what is it? Going back to your primal state of being.
Instincts.
Yeah, that's what they say the definition of savage is.
Yep. What is it called? Primal instincts, because that's the motherfucker it's instilled in you when you're born. You know what I mean? Like this is just natural instincts right here. Primal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Primal is before tribal.
And it's Dennis who's pretty much putting them up on like what's going on, because they're kind of just like, what the fuck is going on? Obviously they know they
crooked, right?
They know
Dennis.
Yeah, like he's got a little bit of everything because he's with the DEA. So that's not just America. That's like, they're trying to be top flight security of the world.
Well, I mean, I guess like, is he a United States
well, that's what I mean. It is all United States, I'm
saying, they have like DAs for like, they'll have like the Los Angeles County District Attorney, and then they'll have like, what I mean? They'll have the government DA, like, the motherfucker, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean they have certain jurisdictions, but it's not like they don't. You know, like I mean, he's going after the big fish. He's going after the cartel or whatever. And I think he's just such a snake that he's got to see where to get in. You know, like which side he's going to get in on. Like you know, like real sneaky. This Dennis, aka John Travolta, and so he's just putting him up on it like that. There's a cartel war between Azul and Elena, and pretty much like because of that, one side is doing a little bit not as well as the other, and so they're trying to swoop up
war
the networks of all the independents.
Yep, and that's where our guy Chon and fucking Ben come in, right? And then here's isn't she like on some I forget, like she's like on some political hype too?
I don't think so. Right? Not in this one. I don't think
in this one. Okay, I might have misunderstood that then. Because like she can't leave Mexico. That's right. Because the politicians won't allow her. That's what it was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, because if she's on American soil, she's getting taken. You know.
Yep.
Type of shit. And so they have this meeting. I mean, of course, they're at some like fancy ass, you know, swaggy hotel and shit. Best of the best. And yeah, they don't like the offer that they give. So they pretty much say they want to sign a 3-year contract with them.
That's funny.
And over this 3 years, they want to learn their techniques and learn their processes. And I mean, pretty much they're going to grow their business as well. So it's not just like, you know, we're taking part of your money. It's like they're part of the infrastructure as well. And so their distribution comes into play as well with their network.
It just sucks because, you know, that's some cap right there when they say 3 years, because when you're in with the cartel, you're in for life.
I mean, they even said, what about at the end of the 3 years? And he says, I'm sure at the end of the 3 years, you'll be willing to renegotiate.
Man.
He didn't say you could go free. He said you'd be able to renegotiate.
And like they were planning to dip out on, like, they were like pretty much ready to be done. But then it's like, well, now they require your services. So if you couldn't quit now before you even got started, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And seeing, okay, let's take the cartel part out of this. Let's just say it's a legit business. Okay. They're not giving him any money for this. You know, it's a joint venture, but there's no money involved as far as like giving up any money for that 20%. But because of their infrastructure, if this was a legit business, obviously they'd be giving them money. But do you think that cartel would grow their business by more than 20% to where that 20% doesn't make as big of a difference as everyone would think?
I think the best thing about working with a cartel, to answer your question, yes, because the cartel can kill the competition literally. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like, that's what's really cool about the cartels. They'll be like, you know, the competition is none. Literally, they just kill them or make them work for them. You know what I mean? And then, like you said, they're trying to take all the independents because they can't seize the majors, right? Because the majors already got their hands in, or the rival cartel got them in pocket.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So there's no way around that. You have to seize the independents. You know what I mean? And yeah, and then like, you know, obviously, you know, like the legalization of marijuana is really big in the United States too, because, you know, Mexico is one of the leading providers of that product, you know, over the past fucking bazillion years, right? But, you know, now it's like, you know, they got to resort to like being the main, them in China's like the main for fentanyl now, you know what I mean? They're like, you know, the fentanyl is real big business.
Yeah.
Until they start growing the weed with fentanyl in it somehow. He's like, oh no, listen, be careful buying the cartel weed, bro.
Yeah, weed's just too bulky.
She does that.
But man, and then you see that they're the real deal. Like when they're going outside, all right, we need to talk about this. And you know, then they go outside and then they start, you know, introducing you to all their whole crew. And yeah, I mean, shit, you know, they got the snipers on the roof, like look like they're like a mile away or some shit. You know, can't even see them, but they got the binoculars.
These are his Navy SEAL buddies, right?
Yeah, they're not messing around.
Yeah, they ain't fucking around. And you know, it's funny. This is why I was laughing watching it, because it's like, of course he has the homies that are even crazier than him, and they're just waiting around for something to do. Yeah, right. Like, all right, this is what we on now. Okay, you know what I mean?
Who knows how much they got paid? You know, to do
right?
that.
I mean,
And that's what thing cool too, right? You think they got an ungodly amount of funds to just get anything off the ground at this point, right? You already assume they got not even assume they got the best weed in the world, so they're making the best money. You know what I mean?
What up? What up?
What up?
Who is that? Is that Marco?
Yeah, Marco's tearing it up right now, huh?
Yeah.
He's tearing it up out there in the carnival.
Yeah. And it's wild. So, like, right when they were out there, I mean, if they would have said take the shot, they could have took out that dude right there, the main dude, right there. I said not to do it.
It wouldn't be smart.
I mean, they had one little pistol like on them, and so like there's way more guns in there than that. If they were only able to take out the one guy, I mean, there was a room full of soldiers like in there. So yeah, that would not have been smart at all. And all the people listening and everything.
Yeah, and knowing I mean, it's just like you know how like remember in Carlito's way, he's like the Italians will see right through this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they would know exactly where that. You know what I mean?
Yep. And then so they say no, and I mean, never a good thing to say no. And he even says like, you know, our employer isn't going to like this. I think they would take this very personal because he said nothing personal. And yeah. Oh yeah. Our employer is going to take this very personal. That is for sure. And then, okay, in light of this new information, then maybe we'll take some time to reconsider. We give us 48 hours to reconsider. And he says 24 hours.
Yeah, because they can't just outright kill them, right? They're like they still want to get the deal done.
I mean, they need them. Yeah. I mean, because they could jack them for everything. That doesn't help them though.
Yeah, like, and they're already on game because obviously the crooked the DEA agent's like, listen, you got to work with them now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean. He wants them to get in there. You know what I mean?
Guy's got the best weed around. We're talking 33%. You know, shit.
Get in there. Get past the door.
And so he gives them 24 hours. They go home, or they go to they just know they need to get the fuck out of there. Even before this, they were already thinking about running, you know, because Ben's scared, you know. He was like, what's his name? Chon. He was like, look, they smell fear. Okay. I'm not afraid of him. He's like, I am. Okay. Like he's not built for like any kind of like that part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hell yeah, that motherfucker is spooked, bro. He's on some Buddhist shit, bro. He's like,
and seeing motherfuckers with their heads cut off and shit, like, man, that's just like he's not ready. He's not ready for that. And so they plan on leaving, going to Indonesia, and they go to one of their hacker.
They want to go hide out for like a year.
Yeah, they go to that hacker dude's house or whatever, and he's like, you know, figuring out how he launders their money. He used to work at a bank, and now he just launders their money, and it's all about the money they pay him, and that tree. That tree's so good, it brings over a huge ass jar, probably like 2 ounces or something in that jar. It's fat ass jar. He was stoked.
Yeah, he's like, fuck yeah, man. He's like, they got, and you know what's crazy back in Thailand back then? They'll cane you if you got caught with a joint.
Damn.
Like that amount of weed, like a small amount, they would cane you.
Fuck.
And I'm talking about this is old school, like fucking 12-foot long cane type of shit, bro.
Damn it.
I'm serious. I'm so serious.
I believe you.
That's why it's crazy that it's legal there now, or whatever the fuck their deal is now over there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not caning people anymore.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so they want to get out of there. They want to bring Ophelia, you know, with them, and so they tell Ophelia, and she's like, "Well, let's go out and get something to eat." And you know, there's a lot of dialogue in there. You know, it's
Oliver Stone.
Yeah,
Oliver Stone will straight have fucking. Remember, it's like him and fucking Jamie Foxx. It was his name. They're talking for like 18 minutes. They're like, yeah, they're in the same room.
Yeah,
so but it's good dialogue for what it's worth.
It is good. It is good. So then you see that they got it was the dude when they went to go kill that lawyer in the beginning. It was like the younger, like right-hand man of Benicio del Toro. You see him and some chick. They're in there now watching them. You know, they're in there getting dinner, but they got the eyes. They got the eyes on them. And then it's Benicio and him. They follow him home. And they're like, which one do you think he fucks or she fucks? And she was like, he was like, I don't know. You think they're gay? And he was like, what if
I love this speculation. I would have been the guy like, listen, I think they legit like just take her down at the same time, bro. And then there's another guy. I think she goes one at a time.
Well, that's what I mean. And then Benicio, Lado, that's what he says. Maybe she fucks them both. And then there's a pause. Savages. Because to a lot of people, that's like super savage shit, right? Like, I mean, a woman being allowed to be with two men and the men being okay, like knowing that, you know.
I think it speaks to a lot. It speaks a lot towards like, you know, the empowerment of women, like, you know what I'm saying? Because like it's only frowned upon for a woman to throw her thing around like that in American cultures, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, look at you literally have the main antagonist is a woman, you know what I mean?
Unless you're Mormon, right? Or Mormon's the one with 8 wives.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Polygamy or whatever it is. Or, you know, and see what, you know, what's funny about that is like, see, we, you know, in the streets, they call that pimping, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
you know, even, or in Alaska, they call it Eskimos, you know what I mean? Because the Eskimo will have like, you know what I mean? I'm talking about like throwback Eskimo shit. Like they'll have like a whole village and everybody shares.
Oh man, that's Taco, man. He's got the Eskimo brothers.
Exactly. You know what I mean? But shit, that's what it is though. It's funny because in its simplest form, it's just like, you know, your Eskimo brother is someone that's fucked the same person as you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but where it derives from is because like you would have like an Eskimo village, bruh, and like it'd be like I have my wife, right? Yeah. And because she got great genes, so I'm gonna have my kids with her. Then like this one over here, she cooks. So like, you know what I mean? I'll give her some loving for that good cooking. Then there's the bad one, right? Like she's hella bad. We all just fuck her because she look good. You know what I mean? Like that's like I mean, I know I'm exaggerating, but that's like, you know, some throwback Eskimo shit, man.
And yes, yeah, and it's funny for him because that's, I mean, Lado. I mean, yeah, of course, like he's got like his other chicks, like he's in the life, you know, but he has a wife and kids, and like, you know, like he has a normal family, like
he has a square life, like as a front,
yeah. But then, you know, then he's fucking other chicks, you know, when he's out and about. But that's what's crazy is like to him that part was the savage.
Yeah,
like,
sharing a girl.
Yeah,
like sharing the broad. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
exactly. You know what I mean?
It's all subjective. I mean, that's, you know, I mean, either way, like it's all subjective, but it's funny. Like this dude,
because he is a savage himself.
Oh, he's for sure. He's the first savage that you come into contact with in this movie.
I'm just saying.
And yeah, that's what's funny. And he's the first one to call someone a savage,
right?
And well, and maybe Chon says it like, you know, these guys are the fucking Taliban, like they don't give a fuck, like they're savages. Like he might have said it first, but we get it a couple times early.
He probably said, "Cut, say it again. They're savages. Cut, more Mexican. They're savages." Okay, you nailed it right there. That's a wrap.
And we get, you know, we get a whole night of like them, like just, it's funny. I do like how their weed consultant made sure to put ice in the bong, and they had the glass bong, you know, because that was like a real big thing back then. It was like, oh, you fancy, you got the ice in the bong, huh?
Yeah, or even more fancy. Really, like you walk into the party, you're like, what the fuck? That shit's already smoking. Nah, some dry ice in there. I'm not smoking that, man.
And so they tell Ophelia, you know, go get your passport. We got to get the hell up out of here. And of course, she's got to go shopping and shit, and goes to the mall and like all this, and like she had
stupid Ophelia.
She had security on her because, of course, they had a dude that was right there, you know, who was supposed to be on her, tailing her. And yeah, but then they were on it though. They had the intel. They had the Eric Estrada pull him over. Just came and hit him with the silencer, and then the landscaping crew, you know, just like swooped in. The part that I did like though, out of all this, it was like it's when Ophelia's at the mall looking at, I don't even know, she's at some little shop in the middle, you know, just some little stand, and then Elena's daughter is on the phone with Elena, just kind of walking.
Oh, because they don't know who the daughter is yet,
right?
Yeah,
they just, and Ophelia and Elena's daughter never, like, nothing ever
They never encounter each other. Yeah.
No, well, except at the end when they see each other and they're being traded.
Yeah, they're being
for each
traded.
other.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. But yeah, that's what's wild is like it's funny how like everything is so intertwined. It's that close. It's that closely knit that like her daughter and Ophelia are like the same person pretty much.
Well, I mean, of course, the cartel queen has her child in America. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Best education, fucking unlimited fucking black card. She's just shopping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, prissy little college chick is what I assume, or something. Maybe just out of college, who knows? But looks like she's somewhere young 20s. Or
it's kind of a stark contrast to, or not even. It's a parallel to what's her name? It's just,
Ophelia.
She's the Laguna Beach princess chick, and she's a cartel princess. But she probably don't even know what her mom's into. I'm sure.
Well,
I'm sure she does.
Yeah, I think at this point she does.
Yeah.
Sure. And yeah, so they're trying to get the hell. They want to get the hell out of there. And they even call because they're trying to buy themselves more time now. And they call what's the guy? I think his name's Alex. Mm-hmm. They call him the dude that they just met, the one who's heading up all the business discussions. Mm-hmm. And he says, okay, so we want to join. We want to come aboard because they were supposed to meet in person at a certain time. But Lado, he told her, he was like, they're going to run. I just got a feeling. Mm-hmm. And so they go take Ophelia. I mean, we don't really see that at this point, but that's what happens.
Yep, they swoop on her.
And then he says, we want to join. And the response from Alex is, we'll have to call you back. So there was no yes, no. It was, yeah, we're going to call you back.
This feels about right in your notes. Just let me take a shot at it. Are we here at the end of closing act 1?
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. I go on a feeling. Because I'm kind of a vibes guy. I know you're more calculated in a sense. I feel like we was right there at the juncture.
Yeah, because as like from right at this exact point, it was like I think they thought like for a second, like, okay, we're I think we might be all right. Yeah, we might be okay. We got to get Ophelia back here. We're getting the hell out of here.
He's like, they think we're gonna get 3 years. We'll just tell them, hey, we're with it. And yeah. What's funny too is like if they knew when you came home, don't you think they know what you finna do next? Like, you know what I mean? Like
you're watching your every move.
Whenever I know you're into the Cocaine Cowboy series right now, you gotta watch those movies again. I know you've seen them before, but if you rewatch it, part 2 is insane because when she's locked up, like, and she's talking to the black dude from Oakland, like, go outside, look outside the window, and he looks outside as a dude in a 5.0. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just got eyes and ears everywhere. And then like anytime he needed a package, he would just be like, I'd hear a knock at the door and then he'd be right there. Like, you know what I mean? Just hella bricks.
Yeah.
She's like, damn, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Because but obviously they had the boots on the ground, I'm sure, already.
Right. Everywhere.
Motherfuckers just watching you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, this dude was it's crazy because when you watch the part 2, it's a lot of his home videos. The black dude. Because he would just like when he was working for her, he would just like record videos of himself, like hella chow. He'd be hella chowed out.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, godmother, you're so beautiful. You know what I mean? Just doing all these videos, even when he was cheating on her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. She knew it. She's like, I know you're with that blonde chick or whatever. He's like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like, don't do the godmother dirty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what's tough. I think when you're in jail, you got to have that, just that mindset. People on the outside are gonna live, but when you're that powerful, though, you got to just abide by the rules.
And power with, how do you get the power? Money and reputation, right? And they had fucking ungodly amounts of money, like, and that's what's one thing that runs congruent through all those Cocaine Cowboy stories is that they never knew what the fuck to do with all that money and where to put it. Like
Just like in Scarface, I wonder if Oliver Stone might have wrote that line where it was like, oh, yeah, the only problem that you're going to have in this business is with what you're going to do with all the cash that you got.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I'm so broke. It's like every dollar's already spent. We're Americans.
All right. Well, that is the end of act number 1. If you're watching with us live here, hang out. We're going to do acts 2 and 3. We're going to knock this out. Yeah, it's a very good spot to stop right here because in act number 2, it goes from 0 to 100 in 3.5 seconds.
What is our heroes gonna do next time? Will Ben and John, aka Chon, find Ophelia, aka O? Tune in next time.
We'll see you for Act 2. Peace out.
Silver screen, ugly picture shit. This ain't a dream, we really live this shit. Don't intervene, yo, we with this shit. That's where the most high.